So here we are back with turn 3, focusing on the ladies in the Asia Pacific region. First up is Lola, who's going to test her influence. She has 5 dice to do this. 5 dice. Let's see what she gets. Oops. They never even came out. Let's do this again. Maybe roll more vigorously. There is 2 4s and a 5, so that's 1 success, and then roll the other 2. And it's 2 successes, which is not too bad. Sorry, you couldn't see this. This is 2 successes. And we're going to not mess around at all. We're going to get an axe. It's always good to have a weapon, isn't it, darling? So we're going to put this in here. So now she's next going to prepare for travel. She's going to get a ship ticket. And which means that next round she is going to go to Australia and then maybe do a rest action. Next up we have Lily Chen, who is now going to also prepare for travel. And then she's going to travel. 1, and then using her ship ticket, she's going to go to space 18 and see the spawn of Cthulhu. It's going to be fun, I'm sure. Up next is, we're actually going to do Diane Stanley next. So we have her in Buenos Aires, where she is going to do a rest action, and she's going to roll a die to see can she shirk the hallucinations that she encountered. 5 or 6. And she rolls a 2. Of course not. So now she needs to switch she needs to flip the poison. When your blood burns and causes your veins to glow bright, it is no blood poisoning that ails you, but something far more difficult to repel. Test law. Well, her law is 4. And she rolls a 6. Yes, that's good enough. If you pass, discard this card. If you fail, the infection continues to erode your knowledge of the arcane. Discard 1 spell and then flip this card. Okay, so at least she's gotten rid of this stupid poisoning. We did not want this. Ugh. Go away. Okay, so that's good. So she rested. That was her rest action. Oh, we need to draw another weapon from the reserve. And it's an enchanted blade. So let's see. She could test her... No, she's going to do a focus action because the next reckoning is just around the corner. And if she doesn't have a focus action, she will get a hypothermia condition, which we don't want. So she's done with her actions. And up here we have our friend Zoe Samaras, who's going to first of all do a focus action. And secondly, she is going to test her influence. It doesn't really matter because there isn't anything else she can do while she's waiting to encounter the Gnof Kech again. And maybe she will get, she has 2 influence, maybe she will get the cat burglar. And she rolls no successes. All right. Next up, the encounter phase. So we're going to go to Shanghai, sorry, to see what our friend Lola can do or needs to do. Shanghai. You search through old copies of the Shanghai Courier to find strange or unexplained stories. Sorry. Test observation. Her observation is only 2. We'll see how she does. And she passes. Brilliant. If you pass, you discover a pattern of arcane activity in the city. Improve your lore. Wow. Brilliant. She improves her lore, which is always nice. So now we just need to find an improvement token for lore. Now here we go. So her lore is now 3. So that's really good. Very nice encounter. We like that one. We like those. Next up, Lily Chen, who is now going to fight the fight of the righteous. She is the chosen one. She can do this. So she's gonna encounter Nktolu. So we're just gonna put this up here. So toughness is half the amount, or half the number of investigators plus 2. So her toughness, its toughness is 4. His toughness, I think that's the male one, is 4. And it's magically resistant. So first of all, we will do the will check now. We'll zoom out a little bit so that we can get the dice tower in view. Okay, her will is 4. So she gets 4 dice. She needs 3 successes. And she gets 2 successes, which means she loses 1 sanity. That's not so bad because her sanity is 6. Next up, she needs to attack now. Her strength is 4. And she gets a +2 for the spirit dagger. Now that's a magical weapon. Now this thing is magically resistant. So I believe this means you get only half the benefit from a magical attack. So you have 5 dice that you would get, -1, so she's at 4 dice. Let's see. And she rolls 1 success. That's not very good. Okay. Once per round, you may re-roll 1 die when resolving a test. And she rolls a 2. Okay, so she takes 1 damage and she only does 1 damage to this Yoki, so she needs to encounter it again next time. Next up, the crazy cook, Zoe Samaras, or Dana Scully as I like to call her. First, the will test. Her will is 6 and she needs 1 success. Oh, plenty. Brilliant. And next up is the strength test, or the combat test. Actually, she has 3 plus 2 is 5. She is blessed. 3 plus 2 is 5 minus 2, so she gets 3 dice and she needs 2 successes. She succeeds on a 4 or higher. And she rolls a 5, which is 1 success. And she's going to spend 1 focus token to re-roll 1 die. Come on, you can do it, girl. Oops, that one fell out. And it's a 6. Brilliant. So this Gnopkech is done and dusted. It's killed. But this means, and this is quite important, that we now put this clue against the mystery. Now the mystery is such that we have to defeat two monsters, two Gnovkech, that have attacked the city. So when we meet another clue in a city space, we will also be attacked by this. So we're going to do this now. So the Gnovkech attack has not been successful, thank God. So one. What happens if you actually kill a monster? Does this mean you have a... No, because that's actually the she can actually do this again here in Arkham next round, because Arkham is also a city space on which we have a monster, on which we have a clue, so she could do the same thing again next round. Travel and then or do a focus action, travel, and then do the Arkham monster as well, and we would have solved this mystery, so she's probably going to do this. Okay, now let's look at our dear friend Diane Stanley, who's hopefully going to have a really, really beneficial encounter in Buenos Aires. Let's see. Did we? No, we didn't. We've never looked at any of the Americans. Let's see. Buenos Aires. You sneak aboard a ship loaded with stolen antiquities, and including an ancient stone tablet. Reading it, you gain 1 ritual spell. So now this is interesting, because she has the relationship Student of the Arcane with Lola Hayes. So after the initial setup, anytime either of you gains a spell, the other draws a random spell from the spell deck. So basically, she gets a ritual spell, and Lola gets a spell as well. So let's see, we're going to draw them from the back. That's an incantation. Nope. Incantation. Ritual. Conjuration. Test law +1. If you pass, you may gain 1 item or trinket asset from the reserve with value equal to or less than your test result. That's good, because her influence sucks. And now let's see what Lola gets. She gets any spell. It doesn't have to be a ritual, so we'll take this one. And it's also a ritual. Plumb the Void. Action. Test law -1. If you pass, an investigator of your choice may move to any space. This is good. This is very good. Okay, Plumb the Void goes to Lola. And Lola has now a lore of 3, so she now rolls 2 dice. Not too bad at all. Not too bad at all. Okay. But, obviously, you don't get anything for free in Buenos Aires. She now needs to test something. Memorizing the words, you feel yourself slipping into a trance. Test will. Her will is 1. If you fail, you wake up imprisoned for theft. Gain a detain condition. Oh my God, this girl. Oh. Okay, now. Everybody, she needs to pass this test. Oh, this is horrible. She really is very unlucky. I mean, what kind of a cultist are you if your will is 1? 4. Of course she fails. Ah! Does she have anything to help her? No, of course not. So she gets a detain condition. Well, I guess actually it's thematic. She's so weak-willed that anybody can tell her anything, and then she will end up joining some weird cult. I mean, seriously, this woman. Infection, righteous, head injury, agreement, blessed, cursed, dark pact, debt, righteous. We are looking for a detained condition, right? Detained condition. Funding, dark pact, debt, internal injury, debt, detained. Here we go. You cannot move or perform actions other than the action on this card. Instead of resolving an encounter, flip this card. Local action test. Okay, so the only thing she can do is she can test influence. If you pass, discard this card. Instead of resolving an encounter, flip this card. Okay, so next round, either way, she's either going to get rid of this, or she is going to flip this card, whatever that means. Oh my God, this is horrible. But it's at least not a reckoning card. Okay. Good. So, Where are we at? Okay, let's see. We have made one progress on our current mystery. We need another encounter with a Gnovkech, and I think we can get this out of Ms. Samara's next turn. We have closed one gate. There are no open gates at the moment. We will hopefully get a clue next time round. In 2 turns. And hopefully our dear friend down here will take out this thing. We also have the other one, the other spawn down here. And we have another mystery which prevents us from closing gates. So, another rumor which prevents us from closing gates. Next time I set this up, I will actually ensure that I don't just get the tentacles, but I also get some nice cards in there. Yeah, because I mean, of course, the tentacle cards make for a more challenging game, but I also like the thematic part of the game, and at the moment we're not. And I mean, you know, the harder the game, the less thematic sometimes. Okay, so now here we are, the mythos phase. We have our first reckoning. We have a gate. And we have, first of all, Omen Track movement. Now, the Omen Track is going to move to the blue constellation, which means nothing at this stage because there are no blue gates. Reckoning effects. Okay, now we have to do them in a certain order. Monsters go first. Okay, we have no monsters that have a reckoning effect. Woohoo! Because we got rid of this one up here. Brilliant. So, we get a gate, and the gate opens in Arkham. Okay, you open the door of your hotel to find, reckoning goes on, of course. Ancient One. Yeah, anyone who doesn't have a focus token gets a hypothermia condition. Everybody discard their focus tokens now, please. Everybody has discarded their focus tokens. Next up are Mythos cards. This Mythos card loses 1 Eldritch token. So that's the one that will cost us 6 sanity if we don't prevent it, unless we discard 2 clues altogether. We have no clues at the moment. Possessions and conditions. Okay. Let's see. Let's start with our friend, the deeply troubled ex-cultist. She has hallucinations. Test will. And she fails, of course. Flip this card. Abducted. Everyone told you the beings were a figment of your imagination. Now the creatures have come in your dreams to steal your soul away. Gain a lost in time and space condition. Oh my god, this woman, I'm telling you. Okay. She's lost in time and space. Whatever that means. I have no experience in this game with what that means, but we're gonna find out very soon. Lost in time and space. Honey, this is, you know, seriously. Lost in time and space. Here we go. Remove your investigator token from the game board. You are unaffected by other game effects and cannot move or perform actions. Instead of resolving an encounter, flip this card. Okay, so next time round she's going to flip this card, and she's going to, well, she will have to flip this card first before she flips her detain condition, because, you know, she probably got out of detention by this. This is weird. Okay, so now let's see. Who else? Lola Hayes has amnesia. Test will. Her will is 3. And she passes. So she keeps the condition. Next up is Lily Chen, who has an Azure Flame. Test lore. Her lore is 4. Nothing. The flames burn you severely. Lose 2 health unless you discard this card. Oh, she can do with that. She can lose 2 health. It's not a problem. It's fine. Oh, 2 health. Yeah, it's fine. I'd rather she keep this because she's going to fight. And then let's see what her paranoia does. Test will. Three. She passes, so she's still paranoid, but she may manage to stave this off. Okay, last but not least, our cook, Zoe. She has a blessed condition. And she rolls a 6, so she keeps the blessed condition. So that's really, really good. So that was a really, really good turn. Okay, now what happens? You open the door of your hotel to find several stone-faced policemen. There has been a lot of unexplained deaths and nothing attracts suspicion like being a stranger. Oh, brilliant. So now they're singling us out for being foreign. Oh, God. Arrests made in murder case. Each investigator on a city space with a weapon possession tests influence. If he fails, he discards 1 weapon possession, gains a detained condition. Okay, well, she is out of sight, out of mind, so she is not affected. We have we have Lily Chen is in the middle of nowhere. Our dear friend Lola has 5 influence. Let's see what happens. She passes. And our dear friend Zoe has 2 influence. And she passes as well with 2 successes, so nothing happens. Okay, so that's it. Now the problem is everybody needs to get a focus. Otherwise, on the next reckoning phase, they will all end up with a yeah. So everyone needs to do a focus action, which is fine. All of them can do it and still do what we wanted them to do. Okay, so that's the end of turn 2 as well. And I'm going to upload this now. And I hope you're enjoying this as much as I am, because I'm certainly enjoying myself. And if anybody of you happens to be lost in time and space, say hi to Diane Stanley from me. She's sadly missed. All right, talk to you soon. Bye-bye.